Pounders, we are back doing what we do best, and that is put in $10 into the big board. Happy Nooners draft, everyone. It's 11 a.m. here. We're going to try to get as many drafts in as possible in the next 2 to 2.5 hours. So I'm hoping that you guys join me in filling these rooms. And we'll just sort of get underway. Yeah, we have Pacheco as the thummy. Honestly, one of the question mark guys in that range, along with like Algier and James Cook and such, could be a gold mine or could be drafted out of his position. So we'll sort of see what happens there in the NFL draft. Just an interesting player. And if everyone is ready, I will start the countdown for the big board. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're jumping in, waiting on 10 people. I'm just going to go ahead and jump in another as well. Nice. All right. So we'll start with 2 tables. We'll see what happens. ER7, what's up, my man? Welcome to the live stream. Says, good luck, guys. I'm at work. This is night shift life here, buddy. Night shift life. So if I look like a zombie, you already know why. So this is going to take a couple minutes to fill. Let me show my exposures here. We are 114 big boards deep. And let's go to the good old exposures just for the $10. Alec Pierce. Let's break it up by position because I think it's easier to see. QB, I'm relatively equal among these QBs besides Daniel Jones at 28% because I think that ADP is wrong for him. Ryan Tannehill, again. Ryan Tannehill going in the 18th round. What the heck? It's free. And Malik Davis did not look like the guy, so I'm thinking Tannehill gets another shot at it this year. They should be run heavy with Derrick Henry again, but that's fine. That's fine. You got Treylon Burks going into his second year. I think we see some small improvements in this offense for this year. Justin Fields, most of this came before the DJ Moore news, so I've been scooping him a little bit as long as he's not going like too close to the third round. Middle of the third to the back end of the third versus when we got him with most of this ADP, I'd say 15 of the 17 was deep into the fourth to the late fourth. Kyler Murray at 14%. I think this is just a high upside guy. Obviously, he could bust with the knee injury, but I only want him for week 15, 16, 17, to be honest. Geno Smith, because we have a lot of Seattle players, so correlation. Sam Howell, I don't know how that happened. Jalen Hurts. We've been doing a lot more of the 3 elite QBs trying to catch up now that they're falling towards the back of the second. We sort of made that adjustment where we were drafting Amon-Ra St. Brown every single draft. And that's where most of our Amon-Ra came from, was when he was at ADP 20 to 17. Deshaun Watson, I do want to get this up. I'm fine with my Lamar exposure. We'll sort of see what happens with Lamar. Tua, I'd like to get this up because if he can stay healthy, his ADP is wrong as well. Like he should be going probably closer to Dak. So let's see running backs here. Elijah Mitchell at the top. This was much higher, but again, we were getting him around 150, 155 every single draft. And now he's come down into like the 120s. Especially in our drafts, he gets picked there. Hank Bigsby. I don't know how this happened. He's just got a clickable name, I think. He's got a clickable name. We'll see what team he ends up on. He is a good prospect, but I am cooling down on Tank. Samaje, Tyler Algier, James Conner, Kendra Miller, Antonio Gibson. I love this ADP for Gibson. I can't get enough of him at this ADP. Deuce been super cooled off on Deuce. Like 18's enough. 18's enough. Khalil Herbert. I think this is a perfect scenario for Khalil Herbert. They bring in like Donta Foreman. All set. I think that's perfect for Herbert. Pierre Strong. Most of this is before the James Robinson news. We're cooling off on Pierre Strong. The writing on the wall is Bill Belichick doesn't trust Pierre Strong. I mean, he got 10 carries last year. Damian Harris got hurt, and they still didn't use him. So the writing on the wall is there. We have 5 more spots on the big board until that draft gets underway. Until then, we're just covering these rankings here, or my exposures. I like this dude as a late round. I think 20th, 19th round. He's since moved down the board a little bit because people are starting to get on him. But I like this pick. He's someone that has like breakaway speed, gets up to full speed extremely fast, can pull off a long play, see where he ends up. Swift, now that he's falling into the 70s in some drafts, like we're scooping him there. Damian Harris, super happy about this. We did discuss where we thought he should go. It's around the 120s, maybe even a little sooner. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine still picking him at like 140, where his ADP is still around 156, 157. Shad White, Najee Harris, A-Chain, Dylan, Penny, all this ADP came in the 180s. So I can't pick him at 112. I just can't. And yeah, that's basically it for running backs. I'm happy with those exposures, with who's at the top. We're waiting on 2 more people for the big board before we get started there. Wide receivers, Alec Pierce, Tyquan Thornton, DPJ, Tyler Lockett, Wan'Dale Robinson. Man, I got to cool off on Wan'Dale. Like the knee injury, it could be a limiting factor for this man. But again, if this was cash games, I would say this is a terrible exposure for him. But for the tournaments where you want the most upside for week 15, 16, 17, I'm fine with it. It also correlates with my Daniel Jones, having a ton of Daniel Jones. So it makes sense. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 21%. Again, I told you I was drafting him early and often when these drafts first started over those 3 elite QBs who's ranked behind him. So we have a ton of Amon-Ra. Treylon Burks, which makes sense with my Ryan Tannehill exposure. So you've seen some correlation that if it does hit, we're going to be all right. Jahan Dotson, Rashid Shaheed, DJ Moore, Hopkins. He has a wide array of big board starting. Yeah, he's just has so much opportunity. Like, what team is he going to end up on? If it's the Patriots, he's going too soon. If he stays in Arizona, I think it's fine. And obviously, there's just a lot of landing spots for Hopkins. He only played 11 games last year, and look where he finished. Like on a points per game basis, he's going too late in this draft. But yeah, I'm happy with my wide receiver exposures for sure. And tight ends, a lot of 3 tight end builds. I was able to dodge the Gesicki, which is just, it's sort of lucky, right? He could have ended up in a good spot and I would have to catch up. That being said, I am happy with these exposures. Pretty even when we get down here, but these are my heavy guys. So I'm happy with that. All right, let's get in. I'm also waiting in another big board that is 3 out of 12 filled. If you guys want to jump in that one as well. Try again, Trump. What's up, my man? We see AJ Brown go. I've been going Tyreek Hill before Cooper Kupp and Travis Kelce, so why stop now? Mario, what's up, my man? MJ10K, that name sounds familiar. Let me know if you guys are in the live stream. I didn't call your name out. Artie, what's up, my dude? Smooth Brain. Love the name. It's hilarious. Laid off life here. Let's go. Big LOL. Travis Kelce at 6. Cooper Kupp at 7. Stephon Diggs followed by Bijan. CeeDee Lamb over Devonta Adams, which I think is correct right now. Especially we have Dalton Schultz moving on from Dallas. CeeDee Lamb should eat this year. He should eat. And honestly, sort of gets me a little bit more on this Michael Gallup ADP of 154. Schultz was a big red zone guy What's up, my man Sean? Welcome to the live stream. GM. Garrett Wilson followed by Waddle. Brees Hall at 16. That's early, but it's different too. So it's interesting. Super interesting. Because you're typically not getting Bijan and Brees Hall. I guess he could have fallen this far in the third at one point. I mean, there's so many drafts that Tyreek Hill and Saquon Barkley start. Yes. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Barkley at 20. Okay. Let's see what the Barkley exposure is at, because we're typically going elite wide receivers here. Like Waddle, Garrett Wilson, but these guys all went early. We see Kenneth Walker go at 17. These guys are really just, going and getting you guys. I'm all for it. This Barkley exposure is going to be low, though. 5%. Honestly, that's where I want it. You don't want to fade high upside guys, right? Saquon Barkley, we can all agree, is a high upside guy. Pauly Chips, why does AJ Brown keep going at 4? Is this people forcing the hurt stack? It could be, but you can easily get AJ Brown here, and it's easier to get Hurts at 16 than it is at 21. The thing is, like, AJ Brown at 4, the way I think of it is, can AJ Brown on week 17 outscore all of these other players? Yeah. Anyone in this round can outscore all these players for 1 week. No doubt. So I'm fine with it. Really am. I have Tyreek Hill before AJ Brown, but after that, I mean, Kelsey I'm not selecting until 7. Cooper Kupp is sort of taking a small hit. Yeah, we're going Chris Olave here, especially since we got Saquon. So we got Olave at 29. That's beautiful. I think my start's really different. Definitely Dennis. Had a guy yesterday, Aaron Rodgers pick at 57, and then I took Lamar at 58. Thank you. Friggin' Dennis got his big wooden spoon out, just scooping value. You have to love that. I don't mind when people go rogue. Really don't. I would rather people go rogue and just randomly select players than be on auto. I hate when people are on auto because those are the teams that get all the value. You really can't get anyone that drops. Drake London at 33. Go and get your guys. For me, Drake London's not my guy this year. Especially with Ritter. No one drafting Ritter until now recently. Like Purdy. Purdy and Trey Lance were both going before Desmond Ritter. That is 2 quarterbacks on the same team were going before Desmond Ritter, the starter. Now, as you get closer to the draft, it's looking less and less likely that Atlanta is going to be making a push for a quarterback. And I don't necessarily think that Lamar Jackson going to Atlanta would provide Desmond Ritter like a lot of upside, especially with Pitts coming back. They just signed Mac Hollins. It's a run-first offense, returning offensive coordinator. I don't see it at his ADP. We were drafting a lot of DJ Moore over London. That being said, like high upside players still, not going to hard fade him in tournament play. We have 5%. Pauly Chip says, bro, I took Josh Palmer 50 picks ahead of ADP last night. Oops. We weren't going to go Burrow. I mean, Mark Andrews before at 44. Come on. I have to. I have to. I have to. I mean, I'm guaranteeing myself one of these wide receivers. If I wanted a running back, I could have gone Najee there, but already having Barkley at 20, I like that. Keenan Allen goes at 45. People are getting Keenan Allen way too late in drafts when he was going around 58, 60, common faller too, before we got the news that he's returning to the Chargers. I'm going to like him more in the cash game style than I will tournaments. But he did have that spike week 18, and finish as the number one receiver, part of our Battle Royale winning lineup. If you check to the end of the season, though, he was getting 10 plus targets a game. So when healthy, he can be a force. But I don't know if I'm picking him before like Terry McLaurin on the regular. I think it's pretty safe to smooth out your exposures with these players. Keenan Allen, another year older, is the worry, but we'll see. If they move on from Eckler too, Keenan Allen to the moon. There's only so many jump balls you can throw Mike Williams. See what Sean Z wants to do. Goes Godwin. All right, so Lamar falls in our pocket at a value 53. We also bring him in with Mark Andrews, potentially, right? We get both after ADP. Right now, I could be on auto. I really could be on auto draft. The draft is just falling to me, which is nice. Yeah, I agree. Art says if Keenan Allen can stay healthy, very worried that he can, but if he can stay healthy, he's an absolute steal. Agreed. And it's not like his body's taking too much abuse from hits. It's more his hamstring. So we have a super balanced build. We need to catch up at receiver. Super balanced, though. Is anyone doing anything crazy yet? This is pretty crazy. Mahomes and Joe Burrow. I would say that constitutes is pretty damn nuts. Only having one receiver through 5 rounds. And it was a 5th round receiver. Naked Burrow, close your eyes. Naked Burrow, close your eyes. Hopefully Keenan Allen has a better medical team than Julio Jones. That's fire. Joe Mixon at 61. I landed in a wonderful draft. All right. We have another draft full. So we are double tabling now. Let's get this going here. And it's this one. Let's see if any of you are in this one. I'm not recognizing any names, but let me know if you're in that draft. I think you guys already know where I'm going with this. I think you already know. Nice. Yes, we are going Treylon Burks. 8 picks away, and I can guarantee you it's going to be another receiver. Catch up a receiver. Let me see what happened there with the screen. All right. The double table's up. Ooh, Kelsey at 9. I have to do it. I have to do it. We got Kelsey at 9. We're sitting around that 4% exposure to Kelsey. Now, this could be interesting to watch you do 2 at once. Yeah, you're going to get some Spitfire facts. Balancing 2 teams at once, it's not, for me at least, it's not very difficult. If we get into 3 or 4 tables, 3 is fine. 4 is where I start to fall off a little bit. So you sort of have to know where your max is. And it's funny because when Underdog releases those tournaments that are rake free, I believe they're called the Pomeranian. They're the $3 rake free tournaments. We jump into like 8 of those at a time. And it's all on the phone. I think it's easier on the phone though, at least for me. It's what I'm used to drafting most on. Kelsey. Interesting. 4 picks away here. And we're most likely going receiver here. You have to love when your drafts line up, like 3 picks away on each. Evan Ingram at 73. All right, this draft is like, I'm going to start drafting at 11 a.m. every day if this is what happens. All right, we're switching over to this board. I think Eckler or Bijan Kelsey is friggin' really different. So give me one of these two. I don't care who it is. That's really different for a start. That's exciting. Now, Bijan has fallen. I have seen him fall to, man, I don't know if I've seen him fall past 20, to be honest. So we'll bring in Bijan here. Bijan, Kelsey, a little different start. And then on this table, we have Lamar. I think I'm going Jahan Dotson here. Just not a fan of Gabe Davis. Faded him last year. I'm okay with fading him again. Let's bring in Dotson. 3 second-year players. All right, shooting for upside. You have to love that. Let's turn this puppy on. The 1K goal is officially in effect. Drop a like already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to best ball. You like best ball content. We'll be doing these drafts all off season. This is day 32 of 33. Draft 32 in the last 33 days. I should say it that way. We've been on our grind. So this team has a Bijan Kelsey start. This team, Lamar, Mark Andrews, both after ADP. Saquon at 20. This draft has just fallen to us, really. This draft has fallen to us. Okay. See Deshaun Watson go at 83 here. To Mario in the live chat. What's up, my man? Kadarius Toney. I mean, now that Juju moved on, I'm a little more on board with him going around this 80 range, but still he's going to be that gadget guy. He's not going to get 24% of the target share. He has the injury risk. I still don't love Tony in that range, but I can see it more now with Juju moving on. And I don't think you really have to stack him either with Mahomes. I don't think that's important at all for him because he scores touchdowns on jet sweeps. He's that gadget guy. So Quentin Johnson at 89. I think we bring in another receiver here. Wanna what? Maybe Dak falls and we get Dak Cooks, but I don't think Cooks will fall that far. With Lamar already falling 7 picks, maybe this room doesn't value QBs as much. So we'll take that chance. And if not, we end up with Cooks, who should be a good best ball player. And we have 5%, so I don't mind getting a little more Brandon Cooks, especially now we know where the landing spot is. I don't know if there's a better landing spot than Dallas for this guy, so we have more running back value falling to us. Not what we wanted, but it's typical. It's typical. Tony Pollard, I like that pick out of these guys. Definitely should be ahead of Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb off the board next. Let's go Calvin Ridley over DeAndre Hopkins. We're up in 6 picks, and we're going to try to get one of these guys. Probably Mike Williams is the least favorite of those. Judy's ADP used to be what, like 56, 57 before? Have a ton of Judy in that range. But again, we have a small fade on Drake London. So all those other receivers in that range, Terry, DJ Moore, Jerry Judy, we're going to be heavy on those players. Maybe D-Hop does make it back. I want Najee here in this range. I want Najee. And for this team, D-Hop goes. I don't love Mike Williams in this range. Man. All right. All right. You got us. We'll go Mike Williams. We bring in DPJ over here. So this receiver room is on par. It's on par. High upside QB, high upside tight end. I like this team significantly better. See London go at 41. My Mike Williams exposure is not high. Yeah, we're at 4% Mike Williams. I just think this range is it was based on Keenan Allen leaving, and now that we know that he's not leaving, I don't really like this range for Mike Williams, but again, high upside, has enormous spike potential. You're not going to want to completely fade him. It doesn't make sense. Not in tournament play. So sort of have to change the way we think a little bit when it comes to these deep tournaments. Let's see if anyone's doing anything crazy yet. Not seeing anything obvious on this board. So I think that's fine. We don't have to really adjust the way we're drafting here. And over here, this team went 2 elite QBs. Odell at 102. This team has Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. So, I mean, we're sort of lucky that we have Lamar over here, to be honest. This team has Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson. And this team has way too many running backs. I got into a good room over here. This is a beautiful room. It's been strange. So many weird reaches, and we just been scooping value all over the place. Even Olave at 29, like that doesn't happen. So I'm excited to see how this team turns out. We're up in 3 picks over here. And I can tell you, we need another receiver. We'll get one of these 3 guys for sure. Lockett goes at 53. Let's see how many likes we got. We got 10 likes. If we get up to 15 likes, we are going to do another draft after this. Kyle, what's up, my man? Welcome to the live stream. He says, nice to see you last night. Yeah, nice to be there. I tried my best. Godwin, I guess we'll bring in Godwin, someone that has a floor for this team with some high upside picks. I don't love the fact that Baker Mayfield is in Tampa Bay, but he should help with the floor. give this team a floor at the Mike Williams, who's a spike week guy, Calvin Ridley, who's got a huge question mark. Interesting. This is interesting over here. I'm never going Jamal Williams here. I just think it's a bad landing spot for him. He might have a hot start with the Kamara suspension. Do I want one of these QBs? I don't have correlation with any of these QBs. That being said, I don't think you need correlation with Trey Lance. Let's go ahead and reach up for Sky Moore. Let's go ahead and reach up for Sky Moore. We're going to need to catch up at RB here, but that's about it. We're going to end up with 2 QBs and 2 tight ends over there. This team, Brandon Ayuk falls to us. Just got a nice little balance action going here. This is most likely going to be a 3 QB squad, where this one's going to be 2 QB, 2 tight end. And tight end's going to be late, super, super late. Like the earliest one's probably going to be a Juwan Johnson, or like a Trey McBride is the second tight end. Can even be a Hunter Henry. I'm fine with that. But yeah, this receiver room's absolutely flames. A lot of high upside, a lot of spike potential. Is this a hockey draft? No, but they do have hockey drafts. They do have hockey drafts. Fantasy Dysfunctional asks, you talk a lot about floor versus upside players. How are you identifying these players? So DPJ is someone that had I just sort of know at this point. I sort of know who are the high upside guys. DPJ had more 20-yard gains last year than DK Metcalf. He finished as wide receiver like 40. He played 11 games with the back quarterback Jacoby Brissett. Now we're getting a full season under Deshaun Watson. I consider DPJ a high upside guy this year. Jahan Dotson, absolute monster in the red zone. Treylon Burks should be the wide receiver 1 on his team. Same thing with Chris Olave. Second year guys is sort of the explosion year. Polychip says, my fear is Lamar doesn't even play this year. NFLPA trying to get him to be, yeah. There's a chance. I think it's small chance because he would still be leaving a ton of money. Gibson off the board. I don't mind Gibson going before Brian Robinson, to be honest. I don't think that's the craziest thing. I'm going to reach up for Damian Harris here. I just think he fits the mold of this team. And I don't think I'm going to get him at 140. So where I typically would most likely go a Brian Robinson here, I think now that we know that he's on Buffalo, high-scoring offense, and this team is going to basically rely on Saquon Barkley every single week. Let's bring in someone with touchdown upside. In half-point PPR, it's going to be way more important. In the eye test, if we just think back, what happened with Washington last year with Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson, Gibson, in my mind, outperformed him every single game. So, awesome story, the Brian Robinson comeback, but in my mind, I'd rather have Gibson at 140 than Brian Robinson at 110. Yeah, we were gonna go Dotson here. I don't mind bringing in Quentin Johnston. Let's see. This team already has a tight end. Let's go Deshaun Watson. Let's get a high upside QB, someone that does have rushing potential as well. We can stack him later with DPJ. Some stacking options. See what happens here. So we're picking at 88. If I didn't have Kelsey already, I wouldn't mind reaching up a little bit and getting the Njoku, but we don't have to do that. I think we can pretty much bring in maybe a Tyler Algier with this team. We'll sort of see what happens. I like Bateman at this ADP as well. We'll see who falls. Gibson fumbles. Ron almost cut him. The thing is, he's still going to have a role on third down. Bateman's off the board. Montgomery's off the board. All right, good. I wanted someone to pick Quentin Johnson. Otherwise, we would have had to select him. Would have had to have. I just like the upside. The unknown. We're addicted to the unknown. So we'll safely bring in one of these RBs. For me, Tyler Algier gets a slight bump ahead of Khalil Herbert just due to the OC returning, run heavy team. But Khalil Herbert, let's see if they make some improvements to this O-line. My take could change on these guys in the offseason. If they can make some changes to the O-line in Chicago. Dante Foreman, I think it was actually good for Khalil Herbert that they bring in Dante Foreman. They don't bring in one of these high upside rookies that, could have more of an impact. I think he should be able to easily outperform him. This is where we start to think about bringing in a Kenneth Gainwell, especially for this roster. Let's see if he falls. Alec Pierce at 139. Honestly, it's where I have him marked, where he should be going. That's why he's our number one owned wide receiver. Kenneth Gainwell. I was off him, but now that they added Rashad Penny in here, his upside comes from a Rashad Penny injury late into the season, sort of like Alexander Madison last year. I say this every time, but Kenneth Gainwell's upside goes higher now that they bring in Rashad Penny, a player that can't seem to stay healthy, and you're selecting him here for a late season injury where Philly doesn't bring in another RB, and they run with Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott from week, 13 on. That's where your upside comes, and he's the perfect RB to add to this running back room, especially where you're looking for those upside handcuffs. Devin Singletary to Houston's a really bad spot, in my opinion. So if you have a lot of Singletary, it's not looking the best. Not that it matters. How late are we in? Like, he's going to be a 14th round pick, 14th, 15th. If you miss on the 14th or 15th, it's not a big deal. We started the season with 16% Tim Patrick last year because we had 24% when he tore his ACL. We had to draft another 200 teams to get that exposure down. And we're profitable in both tournaments and cash. So it's not a big deal if you lose a 14th or 15th rounder. You can still profit. And he should have some sort of role as a change of pace back. Singletary in Houston. Hodgins, I hate. Absolutely hate. Resign Slayton, resign Sterling Shepard. They have Richie James. They bring in Darren Waller. Wandell Robinson's recovering. I can't. This 147's just, it's very gross for me. I like Kyler Murray here, another high upside rushing QB, but I think we need to start taking shots at RB here still. We need to keep drafting RBs. Sean Tucker, someone that didn't participate in the combine and had his own separate little combine recorded by his probably by his dad or something, and his times were ridiculous. All his measurables were ridiculous. Let's go Charbonnet here. We have Deshaun Watson, the Njoku. Can't go tight end, though. Can't go tight end. Have to wait on tight end. Really do. DPJ's gone here. We're sort of hoping he would be in this spot. He goes 20 picks early or 10 picks early. Is what it is. Deshaun Watson, I don't feel you have to stack him because of the rushing upside, so it's fine. We're picking in 4. We need another receiver on this team. Also think the addition here of DJ, Moore doesn't really hurt Mooney that much. I think you're gonna see an effect sort of like AJ Brown and Devonta Smith or T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I think it's gonna open the field up for Mooney. It's gonna make the game a little easier for him. So I don't mind this ADP for him. But yeah, these receivers get ugly fast. 2 rookie RBs. Don't really love that, but Bijan should have a big role right away, whatever offense he lands in. So it's not the biggest deal. Where'd Daniel Jones go? He went at 103. AJ Dillon, good. Get these RBs off the board. All right. We're going to bring in Mooney here. I still think there's unknown with where Elijah Moore ends up. I really do, especially with Green Bay holding Aaron Rodgers hostage. I don't think it's a guarantee that Elijah Moore is a Jet next year, and they add Allen Lazard. I don't think it's a guarantee he stays. All right, this roster, Lamar, Mark Andrews, our receivers are really I like this room a lot. I could stop at 7 if I wanted to, but in 20-round drafts, probably add a late round receiver here. We have to keep stacking up running backs. We're up in 2 picks. I'm gonna see if a Jeff Wilson is still there. Also like Rashawn Johnson, but would like a veteran with guaranteed touches in an offense. I think that's gonna help this team most. And it would give us a little Miami correlation. Nice. Cool. We'll bring in Jeff Wilson here. If you guys haven't already, drop a like on the live stream. Helps us tremendously. If you're enjoying the best ball content, hit the subscribe button. Also comes with our free draft guide, 11 pages of player write-ups. Doing these drafts all off season. Tajay Spears. Okay, so Rashawn Johnson goes 1 pick after. Rashawn Johnson played in college behind Bijan Robinson, but he has so many highlights in a short film. So many highlights. Hard guy to bring down. Hurdling people. Just really elusive. Mary goes at 169. Staffy paired with Dak doesn't have any correlation with 2 pocket passers, which I think's not my favorite. If Michael Gallup's still here, I have to. I have to. I have to. We're done at receiver. We're officially done at receiver with this team. We need 1 QB, 1 tight end, and then we got 3 running backs left on this team. So it's gonna be a 2-8-8-2 build. I like it. I especially like how our receivers came out. think we got a lot of high upside guys here. Then this team's shaping up pretty nice. Not a ton of correlation. Tampa Bay, San Fran. Yeah, we're not gonna have a ton of correlation with the receivers, but it's a Deshaun Watson team, so you don't really need correlation. Elijah Moore falling 15 picks after ADP. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go Elijah Moore here. Damian Harris is still there. I might try to push Harris to 136. Try to get one of these 2 here. Yeah, let's go Elijah Moore. 15 picks after ADP. I'm fine with that. 14 picks. Get the balancing beam out. Guys, we need to get to 15 likes, and we're going to drop another draft after these 2. 3 likes away. We'll get into another one after this. Palmer goes at 132. Mitchell at 133. I like the Mitchell pick. I like Gibson, P. Ryan, Damian Harris. These 3 stick out. It sucks because we also need this might have to be a 3 QB, 2 tight end. Our receivers, I think we caught up at, but it's not near this team. This team's a work of art. You got Jimmy there in Las Vegas. We don't have any Vegas cats. Run the board here. Let's bring in Damian Harris. Should help with these rookies as well if they have a slower start. Yeah, we're gonna need 3 QBs here. Run the clock here, of course. Who's left at QB? Okay. Who's left at tight end? Okay. Who's left at RB? All right, we're going Kendre. 100%. 100%. 100%. We're done at receiver. I don't care if our next tight end is Conklin or even Jelani Woods. We can go super late with that. I sort of know who I want for my QB on that team. We'll see if he falls to the right spot. Hodgins goes at 138 here. I don't care if you have Daniel Jones. It's ugly. It really is. It's really ugly. He had like a 2-game spark. It's not good when they re-sign Sterling Shepard. They give Darius Slayton a big contract. They even bring in Paris Campbell on a 1-year deal. It's just not looking good for Isaiah Hodgins. Darren Waller. I don't know. I don't think people have made the adjustment yet. I know in our Pounders drafts, he goes around 170, late 170s. Baker Mayfield goes at 192. So we do have correlation if we want to bring in Sam Howell. Whoa. Whoa. 46 picks before ADP. Peyton Hendershot. Welcome to Brad's squad. This dude is going and getting his guys, and no one can stop him. Baker Mayfield, 25 picks before ADP. Wild. Wild. All right. Sorry, but I like Ryan Tannehill better than Sam Howell. We also have the Treylon Burks correlation. We'll bring him in with Lamar Jackson here. And then we need to go back to drafting running backs. One more tight end. This receiver room's flames. Absolute fire flames for best ball. Was this the I'm done with wide receivers this draft? Yeah, we're stopping at 8 in this room right here. Tyreek Hill, Chris Olave, Treylon Burks, Jahan Dotson, Brandon Cooks, DPJ, Sky Moore, and Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, 19 picks after ADP to end it. The RBs I'm fine with, especially getting Barkley 5 picks after ADP. QBs I'm fine with. Obviously, we need Lamar Jackson to play football this year, and Mark Andrews with Lamar both after ADP is just beautiful. Just beautiful. Kincaid goes over there. Okay. This squad, I think the RBs are very strong. QBs, fine. Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud just went off the board. Bryce Young most likely ending up in Houston. Devon A-Chain. We can't go RB here. Ah, man. I think I have to bring in another receiver here. We'll go Rondell Moore. These QBs are starting to fall a little bit, so I'm hoping in the next 6 picks I'll still be able to get one of these guys, is the thought. And we'll bring in Rondell Moore. If we do get the news that DeAndre Hopkins moves on from Arizona, like, realistically, where are you putting Rondell Moore? He's got the injury history, but you probably at least have to put him in this 134, this Joshua Palmer range. So I'm fine with going Rondell Moore here. Yeah, so we're going to get one of these QBs. So it's going to work out. RBs are strong. Tight end, obviously strong. Kelsey at 9. Wide receiver, I believe we caught up on. We're going to need one more receiver to add to this group. It's going to be 3 QBs. Bryce Young off the board. We don't we don't have anyone in Green Bay. The ugly thing is, like, I think it's an Anthony Richardson type squad. I haven't drafted nearly any Anthony Richardson in this range just because we're getting him in the 20th and 19th. I stopped drafting him when he dipped below the 17th, but I think it makes the most sense with rushing upside for this team in particular, where we don't have any correlation with the remaining QBs. So we'll bring in Anthony Richardson here. He goes 10 picks after ADP too. We should take note in that. One pick away over here. I mean, we could honestly bring in Sam Howell as well if he falls. We do have the Dotson correlation, and I don't mind getting 3 QBs over here. I doubt this guy goes a 4th. And then that would leave us with needing one more tight end. I really do want it to be one of these guys. Musgrave's fine. Sam Laporte is good as a prospect. Lamar and Ryan Tannehill. We need a tight end more. And if we have Rodgers going to the Jets, the thing is, if they don't move Elijah Moore, like, I have Jelani Woods ahead of Tyler Conklin. All right. We'll see how this team turns out. We need one more RB over here. And if Sam Howell's gone, it'll be 2 more RBs. Chase Brown's long gone, right? Chase Brown's long gone. I don't alright, good. I like this guy as a prospect, but again, we have 2 rookies, and you start selecting 3, 4 rookies, it makes it extremely hard to smash on all of them, obviously. So, I like to do this, like, 2 rookies per build for RBs, maybe 3, but, the more you draft, the harder it is to hit on all of them. I'd rather just create a super team. It's easier to do that when you're only taking shots on 1, 2 on each draft. Because if you do hit with those guys along with the second year guys, along with the returning veterans, that's how you create a super team. JaMychal Hasty's fine late. Ty Chandler, someone that is a little sleeper sleep. That's going pretty late. James Robinson to New England. I hate it. I absolutely hate it, but the writing on the wall is they don't trust Pierre Strong. He got 10 carries last year. You had Damian Harris get hurt. All right. I mean, we'll bring in Michael Carter here. 16 picks after ADP, 17 picks after ADP. I think he fits the mold here really well. And if it's meant to be, Sam Howell, you let him go. And if he comes back to you, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Guys, we're 2 likes away from doing another draft. Drop the like, and we'll get another double draft going after this. 2 likes away. You guys can do it. 4 picks over here. I'm hoping Rashawn Johnson falls again. That'll be the max. Now, when we have Bijan and Zach Charbonnet, like, we expect Bijan to be an RB1 this year. He's being drafted as RB4 off the board. So I'm fine with going 3 rookies on this team. It's all a balance. It's all a balance. 2 likes away. When we hit 15 likes, we'll queue up for another draft after these. Let's see what Houston wants to do here. Houston, JG. I doubt he's going to let me get Rashawn Johnson for some reason. For some reason. He only has 4 RBs. Yeah. Yeah, I figured that was gonna happen. It's alright. We can bring in a Michael Mayer on this team. I think that's interesting. Or Kenny Pickett. We don't have anyone on Pittsburgh. I think that's pretty gross to go a naked Kenny Pickett. I'd rather just go like a Ryan Tannehill. Let's bring in Michael Mayer here to pair Travis Kelce. Like, our running back room is still strong with Bijan, Tyler Algier, Zach Charbonnet, and Damian Harris. I think the RB room's fine. Our wide receiver room is I think it's fine. I definitely like the other team better. This other squad is pretty nuts. Yeah, so Sam Howell goes off the board, so it's gonna be another running back. Little 2-8-8-2 build. And this team's just a masterpiece. Obviously, we need we need Lamar to play for this to be a masterpiece, but this is looking like a masterpiece to me. Thank you for the subbies, guys. Appreciate that a lot. So we're on our last pick over here. James Robinson. Honestly, like if he's there, we're gonna select him. We have him on one team, and the writing on the wall says Pierre Strong isn't the backup. He's not the number 2 guy. He only got 10 carries last year. James Robinson, poof, off the board. That's what we do. We just jinx players right off the board. We're next on both of these. The other one's gonna be a running back. This one is going to be yuck. I don't mind it being Jalen Warren there. Over here, I hate both of those plays. Is there anyone? Maybe I'll go Michael Hasty over here. Jalen Warren over. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I like Marvin Mims over here too for receiver, but I doubt he's going to make it back. Michael Hasty, we don't have ETN. I'm not drafting him if we do have ETN, but it could be a change of pace back no matter what. And he has the upside as being ETN's handcuff. So I'm fine with that. This is just Saquon Barkley. This is a hero running back build. It's exactly what this is. Bunch of fill-in guys with Saquon Barkley, Lamar, Ryan Tannehill. We have the correlation with Mark Andrews, Treylon Burks, Jelani Woods, who might be getting a rookie QB. What do rookies do? They throw to the tight end. I like Jelani Woods going around 216. Then these receivers, Hill, Olave, Burks, Dotson, Brandon Cooks in Dallas, DPJ, Sky Moore, Michael Gallup. I think that was a really good draft. Now this other one, it's been tougher. Let's say it's been tougher. In the 9 spot, started with Travis Kelce though, so I guess we're just not used to having Kelce. It's we have 4% Kelce. The drafts do feel a little different. I think it's fine though. Really think it's fine. We're good here at running back. Wide receivers are oh man, we got another I was gonna say, I thought we had another pick over there. I was like, what the heck? Yeah. I think this receiver group's fine. If we could bring in maybe like a Darius Slayton or a Cedric Tillman, Rashee Rice, look at him moving up the board. Another late round sleep, an absolute sleeper for you guys is gonna be the new addition on Buffalo. Trent Sherfield. Last round pick. He's going for free. He hasn't really been drafted in the first 75 to 77% of these drafts. So typically only the last 23% of the drafters are going to get him. And even then, he's going undrafted. Most of these signed a 1-year deal in Buffalo. He's a speed demon. And I think he's going to have a pretty decent sized role in Buffalo. Now, he has the hype of like KJ Hamler at this point. Remember last year, Denver? No one really knows. But that's a good landing spot for him. For a 20th round pick, an absolute flyer. Yeah, I'm gonna have some Trent Sherfield for sure. Get some insider knowledge here on the pound. We're 1 like away from doing another 2 drafts. Be the guy. Be the one. Be the one that gets us there. Kendra Miller off the board. I'm fine with this running back room. Tight end, we're done at. I think QB, we can add in Ryan Tannehill if he's there. Not going to force it. Probably done at 6 running backs. So 1 more running back, 1 more QB. We're done at tight end, so they could both be receivers. So a 3. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see what happens here. Noah Fant goes at 199. I can't get behind Noah Fant. Will Disley got hurt last year, and what happened was Noah Fant had the perfect opportunity to be the tight end one, and in came in Parkinson. Cody Parkinson? Colby Parkinson, and he was putting up the tight end one numbers for that team. Just so on the regular, they're cycling 3 tight ends. Does he have Geno Smith? Okay. If you have Geno, like, I get it. I get it. We can make the exception, but I think Slayton fits really well on this team. These teams already have QBs, so let's risk it. Let's risk it. Trevor Lawrence and Russ, Justin Fields and Justin Herbert. Tannehill is the 3rd ranked QB, so I think he'll come back to us. Let's put it in the hands of the badgeless folks. Always fun. Always fun to do. Never know what's gonna happen. Polychip says, "I have, like, 45% Greg Dortch." Why? Why? 45% Greg Dortch. Ah, man, I can't get behind it. I just think he's a floor play, right? Like, Greg Dortch is just a floor play to me. I'd rather take a chance on, like, a Trey Palmer who's gonna be just one of those burner. And in best ball, you want the players that can have that one big play pretty much, whereas Dortch is just gonna get a lot of dunks for small yardage. So we need one more RB here as well. Chuba Hubbard's moving up my board. I wouldn't mind Chuba or Chase Brown. But Tannehill would be perfect with this QB. I have to add Tannehill here. We can make the adjustment at RB, which I think we're fine at right now with these 5. We're still gonna bring someone else in, but I think this team needs Tannehill. Anthony Richardson might not even play the whole year. We'll see. We'll see where he ends up. I'm thinking Indy for Anthony Richardson would be a really good spot for him. They just brought over Gardner Minshew as well. Okay, this makes this pick easier now that Chuba's gone. This is an interesting team. I think we brought it back. There was a point where we sorta lost it. That's when we start Kelsey and Bijan, but I think we brought it back. A lot of this is gonna depend on Calvin Ridley. If he can have a wide receiver 1, fringe wide receiver 2 type season, this team will be fine. So we need one more running back and maybe an upside wide receiver. I doubt Chase Brown's gonna make it back to us. Let's see. Something like this. Something like this. Dwayne McBride, Michael Hasty. I guess you can add in some Haskins as well. Gonna be the backup to Derrick Henry, who's obviously not getting any younger. We hit 15 likes just in time. We are gonna fire up another 2 drafts after this. You guys are absolute sickos. You just wanna see me throw money in the big board, and that's what we're gonna do today, another double draft. And maybe if we get to 25 likes, we'll do another one after that, and we'll just be like DJ Khaled. We do have the baby on the way. It's literally any moment. We got 7, 8, 9 days to the due date. So we are trying to crank out as many of these drafts as possible. Maybe we fill it, maybe we don't. It's not a big deal if we don't. We have a lot of bullets. Chase Brown goes at 216. I like this RB room. It's absolutely sick. QBs are fine. You got Kyler with the rushing upside, Freiermuth and Charlene Woods. He does need a 3rd tight end for this team, but I like this team a lot. Horky. Horky's crushing it right now. He brings in Musgrave too. Love it. I probably wouldn't do it over Hunter Henry, who I think is the perfect half point PPR guy in this range with the touchdown upside. Even bringing in Gesicki doesn't really change his touchdown upside. But I like this draft from Horky a lot. Where'd he pick? Oh, he picked at the 1 spot. Of course. Of course. Standard. Standard. So let's get a double draft going after this as well. We have 2 picks left. Jerome Ford. Does anyone realistically think that they're not going to draft another RB? I'm genuinely curious. Like, if you release Hunt, you let Dearness Johnson hit free agency, you're just gonna leave Jerome Ford as your backup to Nick Chubb? I don't fully see that. I think they have to bring in another RB, and this RB class is so deep that they should be able to get a nice depth piece in the 4th round. So and maybe even like a Kenny McIntosh, someone that didn't really show up in the combine, but, does have good pass catching ability. A big back too. Okay, so we don't get snipe on our receiver. I like Bryce Ford Wheaton as well. Is there one of these running backs that we really want? I think so. Let's bring in our 3rd rookie RB. But really, like, I expect Zach Charbonnet and Bijan to end up in pretty good roles, especially Bijan. But I love this kid's tape. I really do. Hey, Pauly Chip says, "Congrats on the baby. I have a feeling you're gonna be slow drafting for a while. It's not fun when you start drafting, the baby wakes up." Oh, dear. I'm about to find out, aren't I? I'm about to find out. Hey, Pauly. Hey, Pauly, get the body in the back. I love Sopranos. My god. Maybe it's the 100% Italian in me. I don't know. No bias. No bias. Can't see Ford being the backup. Thank you. I 100% agree. You don't in any ways, they're gonna bring in a depth piece no matter what. Does this team need another receiver? Calvin Ridley, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, Darnell Mooney, Elijah Moore, Rondell Moore, Darius Slayton. Does it need I'm glad we got the 3 QBs. That was I think we had to. We had to bring in Tannehill there. Kelsey and Michael Mertz, I think that's completely fine. You're using so much draft capital on tight end that doesn't make sense to go 3. I don't love that the 2nd tight end's a rookie, but Kelsey should have a good floor weekly. No more Juju. Ugh, I don't love going another running back. I really don't. We have Damien Harris here, Zach Charbonnet, Bijan, Tyler Algier. I think we're fine at running back. I'm addicted to bringing in these late round upside rookie wide receivers because it's a gamble, right? It's a gamble. Let's see where they end up. Trey Palmer goes to Cincy, and now you just like or he ends up in Chicago, and, uh, you just lit that pick on fire. So, we'll see. I'm excited to see where these guys go after the NFL draft. Let's get into 2 more drafts. We have 19 people in the live stream. Appreciate every single one of you for coming out. Let's update this subscriber goal here. You guys are on fire right now. Appreciate everybody subscribing to the channel. We've been on a grind the last 32 days. Pop. Pop that back up. Let's get into other one here. Let's see how many pounders we can get in this next draft. because I think that was a pounderless draft. One of the few that we've ever done without a single pounder. So let's see. I think this team turned out okay. It's a janky one. There's not a lot of correlation, but I think it's well balanced at least. Let's jump into another one. Guys are gonna give it the countdown, so don't get happy fingers on me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're jumping in, and we're instantly going to jump into another one, so if you missed that one, don't worry. I'm also in the next one as well. I am also in the next one as well. There he is, bro. Greg Dortch, easy smash. I can't. He's a floor guy. My body just doesn't my fingers don't let me click on Greg Dortch. Now, if I needed a floor play, I think it's okay. I think it's okay going Greg Dortch if you need a floor play. You know, if you go like a 7 wide receiver build and your first 6 are all upside guys, maybe you bring in Greg Dortch, but man, I would prefer Russell Gage. Potato, potato when it comes to those slot receivers at the end. Okay, so this one is 8 people to fill, so if you guys didn't get into the first one, there is another draft to get into. This one starts we get the 2 spot, Streamer Luck, what's up? And then this one has, let's see, active. 8 spots open in the next draft, 7 spots open in the next draft. So we're double drafting here. 1 room's full. We got 6 spots open on the second draft. Let's see how many of you sickos are in here. I'm not recognizing any names, which is good. Try again, chump. What's up, my man? Too cool, rad. SM78, I believe he's in the live stream. Batch, what's up, dude? Ches in the 12 spot. Hashtag never lucky. We're going chase here, without a doubt. Without a doubt. JSN just in ran a 4.53 40-yard dash. We do know that the 40-yard dash is a little more meaningless, or I should say a little less meaningful for wide receivers, and it's more gonna be correlated on their height and weight when it comes to receivers as well. But 4.53 is pretty good. Jason 6'1", 200. Nice. You have to have the updates on, you know? You have to have the updates always ready. Always ready. Let's see. If you guys aren't already following Underdog underscore NFL, they're so good with their updates. They're lightning fast. I don't know how they do it, but it's a really good Twitter account to follow. And of course, if you're not following us, we post when we go live about 15 minutes before the link on the Twitter machine. So give us a follow at Underdog. No, at Underdog. At Fancy Dog Pound. Brain glitch. The second draft has 3 spots open. If you guys haven't already joined, 3 spots open on this one. Gonna be double tabling. So we see CMC go at 3, Kelsey at 4, so this is pretty standard. Let's see what Ches does at the 12 spot. Brings in Bijan and Garrett Wilson. JT and Austin Eckler for Cart 219. If I haven't mentioned your name and you're in the draft, let me know where you're drafting from. And the second one filled. We're in the 9 spot for the second one. Vaporware, what's up, my man? Horky's in another draft. He had a really good draft in that first one. Uncle Mayweather's, that name is super familiar. SM78 again, what's up, my man? And again, if I didn't mention your name and you're sneaking in this live stream, let me know where you're drafting from. Give you a nice little shout out, the shout out that you deserve. I'll be happy to go over your team for you as well. Saquon Barkley goes at 15. Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra start. You have to love that. AJ Brown, Waddle. We're typically getting a running back in this range to fall to us, either at 23 or 26. It's very typical. It's not like when these first opened and Amon-Ra St. Brown had an ADP of 20, and he was sometimes going at 22, 23. Our first big board draft, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown at 22. Nuts. Missed that. Missed that. Again, very standard start to this draft. The Pounders, who would have thought the Pounders scooping up the receivers? This is exactly what happens in our drafts. Standard, guys. Real standard, thanks. Gonna leave us with the running backs. Maybe we'll get one of the elite QBs here at 23. I wouldn't mind that either, especially, like, we're talking about DK Metcalf's already gone. So, yeah, I don't mind scooping up one of these QBs. Josh Allen, Jamar Chase start. We're cool with it. We're cool with it, and we're definitely gonna bring in one of these RBs here. I have Tony Pollard ranked above all of them. Let's see what this guy decides to do. I'm not sure if he's in the live stream. Alright, good. Go and get your guys. Go and get your guys. Alright, again, piss and yellow, standard. I don't know who's in the live stream and who's not, so I'm gonna stay a little quiet on this one, see what happens. Maybe that was an auto pick, brought it all the way down to triple zeros, and I'm fine with any of these 3. Devontae Adams? Where did Oh, Devontae Adams went at 6. Strange, to be honest, strange. We'll take AJ Brown here at 9, gladly. Dude, how do these streamers do it where they're, like, just sitting down for, like, 4 or 5 hours at a time without a piss break? For real. Chaz says, "How do you feel about drafting Garrett Wilson over Amon-Ra? Feels wrong?" Yeah, it feels wrong, but again, week 17, can Garrett Wilson have a bigger week than Amon-Ra St. Brown? It's highly possible, 100% without a doubt. So, if you're trying to even out exposures, I'm fine with that. If you're trying to get correlation with Rodgers later, like, if you're trying to do something like that, that's fine. But if we're talking about cash games where we have to make the correct value play every single time because it's a cumulative scoring weeks 1 through 17 instead of that importance on week 15, 16, 17. Yeah, like cash games, you wanna make the value play every single time. Go super heavy on your guys on the correct value plays, and that's how you make money over a long period of time. But with tournament play, it's completely acceptable. Vaporware chucking the deuces up. JT, Saquon Barkley. Bijan Eckler. Alright, nice. Nice, nice, nice. So we're getting one of these 2. I'm stoked. I love these double wide receiver starts. AJ Brown, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Brown brothers. Not really. But I definitely love these double elite wide receiver starts. We're in the 9 spot as well. 16 picks away on both drafts. No. I don't like how that doesn't update on Underdog at the top there. That just threw me for a loop. That just threw me for a loop. DJ Moore goes to the Justin Fields squad, little correlation there. Very nice, very nice. Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, Devonta Smith, Diggs start, like, 2 cool reds also crushing it. Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, Ramondre Stevenson. I'm fine with the small reach on DK, especially when receivers are flying off the board. Jerry Jeudy at 43. Christian Watson at 45. Let's see who's coming back around to us. Oh, look at this. A sea of yellow. It's exactly what we want. It's exactly what we want here. Gardner Minshew is in Indy, assuming that they're bringing in a rookie QB. Gardner Minshew should be serviceable. Obviously not gonna be the highest upside. I'm gonna go Christian Kirk here. Okay. And we're probably gonna bring in man, I have a ton of Terry, I have a ton of Tyler Lockett. These guys really stick out in this range. I would go George Kittle, but I'm not going elite QB and elite tight end usually. The team does seem to, fizzle out a little bit in my mind. Go Terry here. Terry and Tyler Lockett are both they're both some of the most disrespected wide receivers, like, year after year. And again, best ball, you don't have to know when to start them. They automatically plug into the lineup. So, Terry and Tyler Lockett, it's just funny how they always get disrespected. We get the 3 elite QBs going 18, 19, 20. So we have the double elite wide receiver start over here. Obviously, like, so many values fall at RB in this range. But usually you see it just piss green. We see Justin Fields move all the way up to 28. You're gonna see this a lot more in the 18 round drafts. Justin Fields probably moving to this 2-3 turn area, 25, 26. You're gonna get more of an advantage at the elite onesie positions in the 18 round drafts where people can't make up at the position with the extra 2 rounds in the 20 round drafts just by going a third tight end, by going a third QB. So getting this elite early QB, elite early tight end needs a lot more in the 18 round drafts than it does 20. Peanut butter and waivers. Actually, that's fire name. Good morning, my man. It's noon 30 over here. I have Ramondre over Travis Etienne, but I'm good with either or. And we'll get a receiver here at 40, or we could even go Najee if he's there. We got options. He goes ETN. We're gonna bring in Ramondre Stevenson. I'm actually more excited now about Stevenson that they brought in James Robinson, Mr. like 3.7 yards per carry. So I think you should be more excited about Stevenson with that news. Let's see the exposure, huh? See the exposure on Ramondre here. Let's pull it up. 12%. I like that because there's a sea of running backs that go in that range too. ETN's at 5%. Derrick Henry, who always seems to fall to me, is at 7%. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Wouldn't mind D Hop here. Really wouldn't. D Hop, AJ Brown, and Monroe St. Brown. Yeah. I'm going D Hop here. We're shooting for the ceiling. I wasn't going TJ, that's for sure. Let's shoot for that ceiling. Let's shoot for that ceiling. If you guys are new to the live stream, drop a like, helps us tremendously. If you're new to the channel, drop a sub. We have a 20 something page draft guide out there with 11 pages of player write ups. think 30 people have it so far. Everyone's super excited for it. 8:30 AM on my time. Hell yeah. You're getting in this draft early. Little wake and bake draft style. But yeah, hit us up on Twitter at Fancy Dog Pound, and we can get you guys that free draft guide. Where'd it go? Where's my drafts? I lost it. Too many pages up. All right, we're up 4 picks over here. Josh Allen, Tony Pollard, Chase, Kirk, Terry McLaurin. Goes Mike Evans is 66. Try again, Chump. Goes Sanders at 67. Whoa. Okay. That's the earliest I've seen Sanders go, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen someone reach on Sanders. Must be excited for that landing spot. I don't I definitely don't love it for Sanders, but you're going from Philly to Carolina, who's gonna score a lot less points. They also run with, like, 3 running backs in Carolina as well. Got Chuba Hubbard over there for third down role. So I don't love it for Sanders. Not gonna be in the red zone as often. Rookie QB might be beneficial, but yeah, we'll see. Deontay Johnson off the board. Let's see if he falls to us. He does fall to us. We're gonna get Treylon Burks here. We have Devin Singletary going to Houston. Honestly, for Pierce, what more could you ask for? Devin Singletary shouldn't be a major threat to his workload, and you knew they were gonna bring in someone, so it's not the best for him. Like, I think this ADP is way too soon, in my opinion. Ooh, we're going heavy on Washington here if we do this. Let's get some exposure to Kadarius Toney. I don't love it, but with the removal of Juju to the Patriots, he does have 2 touchdown upside, spike week potential. In tournaments, I'm fine with bringing him in here. In cash games, I think it's way too expensive. Exposure smooth out pick, you could say. Dude, do I really have no Kadarius Toney? That's yeah. This is my first Kadarius Toney exposure pick. He just goes so early. Goes so early. 75. I don't know. I don't love it. Like, even with Juju moving on, does Kadarius Toney pick up even 5% of that workload? Like, I don't think so. I don't think so. As the gadget type guy, Patrick Mahomes does spread the ball, so we'll see. We'll see. I definitely don't wanna end up with 0 Toney, so I have 33 drafts left. I am gonna try to get up to 3, 4% Kadarius Toney. Spike week guy, you shouldn't have 0% in tournaments. So I did a bad job at managing that player, I guess. But who do we usually go in this range? We usually go Dotson, running backs. Who else is in this range that we're heavy on? Treylon Burks, J.K. Dobbins. I think those are our typical my guys in this range. But where we already have Terry, I don't really wanna bring in Dotson as well to the same squad. I've done it before and paired it with Sam Howell. Ooh, really wish Lockett fell to us here. Um, Justin Herbert, no. Trevor Lawrence, no. I'm fine with going Marquise Brown here. Fine with going Marquise Brown. Spike week guy, I think DeAndre Hopkins moves on, and if he does, Marquise Brown finished he was like a top 7 receiver in the first 6 weeks of last year when DeAndre Hopkins was suspended. I love this. So much Burks and Bateman had to reach. Yeah. Burks and Bateman are going at really good ADPs, in my opinion. See Lamar go at 51 here. Balance. We're on a balance beam right now with these two teams. Up in 2 picks here. I'm not loving Pierce. I'm not loving Swift, especially because he's falling into the 70s. So I don't think there's a reason to reach on him right now. I will tell you, I do like Ayuk here, and I don't mind getting, I guess, some more Mike Evans. I'm extremely low on Evans for exposure-wise. I think rightfully so when he goes in this range. 5%. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ayuk still. It also allows us to pair it with a later Trey Lance as well. Let's go Ayuk. Wide receiver room's looking juicy in both drafts. Let's go. Let's go. 2 off the board at 92, pairs with Tyreek Hill. This is a super balanced team. Chris Godwin, good floor play. I like Chris Godwin here as the 3rd wide receiver on the team, whereas if he's the 5th wide receiver on the team, I'm not as excited because I view him more as that floor guy rather than someone that's gonna be able to, like, consistently, like, spike into a lineup. Sutton off the board, that's fine. We already have Josh Allen, otherwise I would start to look at Daniel Jones in this range typically. Michael Thomas. We want one of these running backs, but we're gonna reach up a little bit and get David Njoku first. And I'm trying to raise that Njoku ownership. Perfect. We'll bring in Khalil Herbert. They bring in Donta Foreman to Chicago. I think that's perfect for Khalil Herbert. Should be able to outplay him relatively easily. I think Donta Foreman's gonna be the change of pace back in Chicago. So I actually like this RB room. Nice. Nice. So we're 9 picks away over here. Oh, man. I like these drafts where we're just heavy on receiver, and then we just figure it out everywhere else. Especially getting Stevenson last of this group, like, I'm completely fine with that. I think that's gonna be the best value. And then, obviously, you have Najee Harris around 40, 43. Just an amazing value in its own. So we're up in 2 picks here. Darren Waller off the board. Isaiah Pacheco off the board. Yes, please, and thank you. Let's see what Party Moose wants to do. I've seen this name before. How can you forget a name like Party Moose? David Montgomery off the board. Exactly where we weren't gonna go was a David Montgomery. We'll bring in Deshaun Watson to this team, and we're up in 5 picks. And we have an idea of what we wanna do. We'll see if they let us do it. We'll see if they let us do it. That Alec Pierce exposure at 35%, Tyquan Thornton 31%, DPJ 29%. Jesus. Quentin Johnson and Jordan Addison at the 7-8 turn. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it at all. Has Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones. That's interesting. That's interesting. Cool. So we're gonna reach down a little bit. We're gonna bring in David Njoku here with the Deshaun Watson pick. Get some correlation. Small reach, but I'm fine with it. Pay for correlation sometimes. Josh Allen, someone that you don't really have to correlate because he spreads the ball so much. He can get there on the ground as well with 2 rushing touchdowns. He can have a blow up week without elevating a single one of his receivers. I guess so can Deshaun Watson if he decides to run this year. I honestly think that at the end of the year when Deshaun Watson was playing, they made an emphasis on not running the ball as much and trying to get him back into the offense. So, I think if they do run the ball more, it'll actually help him. So, Nick Chubb probably going a little too late, but this team's becoming a monster right now. This team's also looking pretty monstrous. We gotta get the fill-in pieces now. We gotta get the fill-in pieces. This is where you turn a good roster great, is in the back half. Everyone's draft looks relatively pretty in the first 6, 7 rounds. What's up, my man? TB Bucks. Drew is in the live stream. Elims, what's up, dude? What's up, big dog? We're gonna get some big dog drafts going this summer, the 250s. That'll be fun. Jason's late to the party, but always showing up. What's up, my man? If you guys haven't already, drop a like on the live stream. We're gonna try to get to 23. We'll set it to 23, and then we're gonna get another double draft going after this. Yeah, JSN 40 came out, 453 on unofficial. Yeah, it's good. It's good. The 40 doesn't matter as much for the receivers. It's gonna be more correlated towards height and weight. Means a lot more for the running backs coming in. Of course, we got 5 picks over here, 2 picks over here, 20 people in the live stream. What's up, guys? Guys and girls. Robinson at 117, definitely not where we were going, so we're fine with that. AJ Dillon's an interesting pick. When the pick goes bye-bye, that's exactly what just happened. 3 picks away over there. Let's reach up a little bit. Let's bring in Dawson Knox. This guy doesn't have a tight end, so I feel the need to go and get him right now. Bring in a little Josh Allen correlation. How you doing? How you doing? Nice to see you. And you collected. Welcome to the live stream. It says, have you made a list of floor and ceiling guys? How many weeks, years of data to label them? You'd be surprised how much I keep in my head. I'm not a spreadsheet guy, and I just did a dynasty draft auction league with a bunch of spreadsheet guys, and we fared extremely well. Just keeping it all up in the heezy. So to be able to identify floor and ceiling guys, it's really a mixture of what offense are they on? Oh, one sec. Of course, we're on the clock over here in this table. Tua's falling. Trey Lance is falling. I guess he's on ADP, but we can bring in a Trey Lance here. But not before GPJ. We'll get the correlation here with Deshaun Watson. All right. So identifying floor and ceiling guys is going to be the role in the offense. Typically, to make it simpler, like someone that plays the slot for half point PPR is, unless they are like an Edelman, unless they are an Amon-Ra St. Brown type, where they're the focal of the offense, those are typically going to be floor guys. Tyler Boyd, Hunter Renfrow, Russell Gage, these are players, Greg Dortch, these are players in my mind. They're not the X receiver. These are going to be the floor guys. They're not going to be able to provide. Look at this team I have right now. What does Hunter Renfrow do for this squad? Can Hunter Renfrow spike into this lineup? It's not likely he's going to be able to provide much value to this team, and especially for week 17 where you're shooting for the ceiling, uh, that would be, in my mind, not a good pick for this specific squad. Now, if this team had a few rookies that start slow and it had, a couple upside guys, but we started double elite receiver over here. So Hunter Renfrow wouldn't be good for this lineup, but maybe if we had a couple rookies and we needed a floor play, maybe that's where you go like a Tyler Boyd. Um, let's see what we wanna do here. Kirk Cousins. I wanna be able to stack Cousins, so I'm not really interested in a Kirk. I like these 2 plays. Let's bring in Dylan, though. Let's bring in Dylan. Honestly, I like this ADP for Dylan. Yeah, what's the role in the offense, a new collector? Who's the QB? 'Cause quarterbacks matter, let's be honest. Gotta go back to work, just wanna pop in. Catch you later, Drew. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. 2 likes away, and we will get another double draft going after this. So this squad is strong at QB. I mean, I think we're strong at tight end, but we're still gonna bring in a third. If this was an 18-round draft, I would be okay with stopping with these 2. 20-round drafts, let's go ahead and let's bring in the third. Our receivers, Chase, Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Treylon Burks, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, so we do have, some KC correlation here. I like the receivers, the running backs, Tony Pollard and Khalil Herbert. Obviously, we need to add in some more running backs, but this is also a very similar, built team as well. Might need 3 QBs for this squad, though. We'll see. Sort of see, who falls. Up in 9 picks, up in 4 picks over here. Elijah Mitchell goes at 127, too cool rad, very standard for a pounder to be selecting Elijah Mitchell in this range. Super standard. Zay Flowers at 91. Antonio Gibson at 139. I like that pick. We're up in 3 picks. I like the receivers. Tight ends, we can go like a late round, super late round tight end to really shore up this group, but I think these 2 are fine. We'll find some RBs to fill in and a couple more receivers, and this team's juicy. I do like the Dobbs pick now around this 140 range due to, um, Allen Lazard moving on to the Jets. I think Dobbs and Christian Watson do get a small boost. That being said, I think they have to bring in another receiver, so free agency is looking extremely thin. Maybe they bring in like a DJ Chark, but more likely than not, they'll probably hit the draft at receiver. Or they're hol they could be holding, Aaron Rodgers for ransom. Oh, we wanted Damian Harris here. We get sniped right before a pick, so we will go Alec Pierce. We'll bring in our number 1 drafted wide receiver. Why not? Why not? Rashid Shaheed goes off the board, followed by Michael Gallup. I like both of those picks. We have Tony Pollard and Khalil Herbert. Not drafting Hunt here. Donta Foreman, I don't like it with Khalil Herbert, Stephon Achane, Raheem Mostert. Let's go Achane. Ah, it's so gross, though. It's so gross. I'm just gonna go Chiggy. I'm gonna go Chiggy. We'll put off running back 1 more round, and we'll probably have to double tap it on the way back around. We're done at tight end. I think the tight end crew's strong. Our wide receivers are strong. Alright, that's fine. Let's go over here. We're up in 1 pick. We got another pick at 136. I like Elijah Mitchell here. Don't even have to think about it. Change of pace back has the upside if CMC does go down for week 15, 16, 17. But even if he doesn't, like, you saw him score 2 touchdowns in his first game back last season. So he's gonna have a role no matter if CMC's hurt or not. Palmer off the board. I think Sky Moore's now he's back in play, especially with the Juju news going to the Patriots. Sky Moore's definitely back in play. It's crazy. It's crazy how quickly opinions change. But again, we don't have all the information, and that's okay. We're starting to make these inferences. It's early. It's so early. It's gonna be a fun offseason. It already has been fun with all the free agency news that's come out. We're gonna see where these rookies land, and we'll start to identify where we think the values are with the rookies. Yeah, they gotta keep CMC fresh. I like Mitchell. He's gonna have that change of pace back role no matter what. Antonio Gibson here is fine. I also like Damian Harris probably before Gibson now, just slightly though. We're up in 16 picks there. Get Damian Harris at 136. I easily think you can move Damian Harris down before Kenneth Gainwell in this 120 range. Now that he's in Buffalo, high-powered offense, should have the red zone role. Yes, does Josh Allen steal some rushing touchdowns? Of course. But pick 135, 136. I especially like him in the hero running back builds where he can spike into your lineup with those touchdowns. I think that's where he's gonna be, like, best suited for your teams. Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Brown, Brandon Ayuk, DPJ. So, like, these are all best ball guys. Deshaun Watson. This is gonna be a 3 QB team, 3 tight end, probably 6 running backs, 8 receivers, if I had to guess. Schultz off the board at 139. Like, that's solid. It really is. I mean, you bring in a rookie QB to Houston, it is getting busy. Robert Woods, Mechie, Nico Collins, Isaiah Pacheco, Devin Singletary, but Schultz at 139, tight end with touchdown upside. How can you go wrong with that? Especially you're probably having him in 2 or 3 tight end builds. He's not gonna be your first tight end. I think it's fine. I think people are overreacting to Dalton Schultz a little too much. Little too much. Still very good in the pass game. And what we saw actually very early into this draft until we got the Gesicki news going to New England, people were treating Gesicki as if he was Dalton Schultz, just, like, automatically selecting him down here. Now he had a lot of good landing spots he could have ended up in. Cincy was one of them. He had the Chargers, and he ends up in New England. I think he's honestly not gonna score as many points as Henry. So I think those picks might be in the garbage there. And you're adding Gesicki and 3 tight end builds, so it's not the biggest of deals. Chiggy at 147. I like that. I like this team a lot. Horky again with another strong draft. Horky, are you in the live stream? Talk to us. Talk to us. Another strong draft from Horky. Is this a naked Aaron Rodgers, though? Nah, he brings in Lazard, so it's not. It's not naked. This team, tight end, I would have liked Chiggy to fall to us. QBs, Anthony Richardson at 153. Eek. Yeah, Richardson goes. Hmm. This one's sort of puzzling. I think I'm just gonna go with Sean Tucker here or Wandale Robinson. Let me think about it. Definitely going Sean Tucker here. Um, yeah, it's fine. Let's go Sean Tucker there as well. We're back on the board over here. I think it's fine if we bring in Jeff Wilson as well. We're strong at wide receiver. We're strong at tight end. This is honestly what we hope was going to happen for this team is get a couple wide running backs that we wanted at a value. I also like Tyquan Thornton. I like this patch of wide receivers. I like Rashawn Johnson as well. I'm liking this draft a little better than this first one over here, but let's see who falls to us. I think our running back room's super strong. We probably don't have to pick one till the last RB. Bring in 6. Our receivers are strong. Could use some help at tight end and obviously QB, but what does Kenny Pickett do for this team when you don't have any of the pass catchers? I don't love that. Juwan Johnson is an option. I think we go Juwan Johnson here. We'll bring in our second tight end, and we pick where? Oh, wrong button. Where do we pick? We pick again at 177. Ah, it's gross. Give me my number 1 guy. Let's go Tyquan Thornton. It also opens up the chance to pair Mac Jones with him, and it brings in another high upside guy. I think we're done at 7 receivers here, to be honest. So this can be 3 QBs, 3 tight ends. That's 6 plus 7 is 13 plus 7 is 20. Okay, cool. 3, 6, 7, 3. That only leaves 19. So I guess I only need 19 guys for this to work. We're on good pace then. This team's looking really good. I like how this team came out better. What's been your guys' favorite draft strategy so far? Is it the 3 late tight ends? Is it getting an elite QB now that they're falling towards the back of the second? Because I've been really catching up on these QB exposures back here, especially where the value early was getting, Amon-Ra St. Brown here, getting these receivers here in this late portion, and now I've sort of made the adjustment, okay, well, now that the value's here at QB, I've sort of made that adjustment. So kinda going with the waves of where the value's at. Curious what you guys are leaning on right now for strategy. 7 picks, we're up in 6 picks, of course. So we need a QB here, not really interested in a Jimmy or a Kenny Pickett. See a little run at tight end. 5 picks away over here for this team. Again, we need to still pound out some of these running backs for this squad. 22 likes. Is that how many we said? Was it 22 to get another draft going? I think it was 22 to get another draft going. If you wanna drop a like to add to it, the love is appreciated, but we are gonna get another double draft going after this one. Like an absolute savage. And appreciate the subby, whoever that was. Welcome to the team, my man. Welcome to the team. Let's get this banner updated here. Nooners draft. The Nooners draft hit in a different type of way right now. 12 spot and a Pounders draft, Chez says, "No good. No bueno." Hunter Renfrow at 175. That's more where his range should be. Completely agree with that. He's gonna be that floor guy, so Curtis Samuel here. Oh, man, do I need a receiver? I don't even think I need one, though. God damn. Just used to clicking that. Jaylen Warren is interesting here. We could also use a tight end to go along with David Njoku. Let's bring in Trey McBride here to go with David Njoku. Still gonna need 3 tight ends on that squad. This team, Mac Jones goes, which is fine. We need running backs here. Tank Bigsby. God damn. I just have so much Tank Bigsby. Maybe I'll switch it up. I don't have a lot of CPAT, I think for good reason. Let's bring in CPAT on this team. Little exposure smooth out. I mean, we're talking about what round? 16th round CPAT. I think it's fine. Should still have some sort of role in a run heavy offense, in the most run heavy offense, I should say, in the league. So Marvin Mims here at receiver. I think if we go Mims here, we're done at receiver. Yeah, let's do that. One pick away over here. We need QBs. We still need. I think we caught up at running back, to be honest. I think we're fine at running back. Let's bring in Macaroni and Jones here. We have the correlation with Tyquan Thornton. We could also pair Hunter Henry late, and we need another QB. We need 3 QBs anyways. So let's bring in Mac Jones here. It makes sense. We have Stevenson as well. So kind of some big brain correlation there in the back end. Another subby. Appreciate you a lot, whoever that was. Make yourself known in the live stream. Welcome to the pound. We're gonna jump into another double draft after this. Ches. Yeah, 12 spot. Honestly, let's see what happened with your 12 spot. So you're in this draft here. You start with Bijan, then you pissed yellow for a while. Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Jameson Williams, Marquise Brown. Like I like all those guys. Let's see what happened though. Yeah, so you got boxed out at QB. You still get Kyler though. You get Kirk and KJ Osborne for the correlation, which I think is super nice. You have Bijan, Cam Akers, Kenneth Gainsell, Tajay Spears, Leo, Nico Collins. Like I think this draft is fine, dude. And you have the Marquise Brown, Kyler Murray correlation. Like stop. That's a good you did really well for the 12 spot. That's fine. For the new subscribers, hit me up on Twitter at Fancy Dog Pound or on Instagram, same handle. Give you guys our free draft guide, 11 pages of player write-ups, ranking players 1 through 35. Now, at this point, it is, I think, about 20 days old, but that's fine. It's still all very relative, and we're going to be updating it soon after the NFL draft. Just a second. When the pregnant wife calls, you got to answer. When the pregnant wife calls, you shall answer, especially when she's 9 days away from popping. I don't have to leave. I don't have to it did not happen yet. Oh my god. Every time I get that call, my freaking gut sinks a little bit. That reminds me, like, I gotta brew more coffee. Always have to have the coffee ready at this point. I don't think I missed a pick, so that's good. Let's see what happens here at QB. I like someone sniped Ryan Tannehill. Who are you? Show yourself. Ches? Of course it was Ches. I like this group at QB now. I think that was the perfect pick. You don't need to correlate them. Damn you, Ches. Honestly, I might just be going a 1 QB build. Let me see. Indy? What if I bring in, like, a Gardner Minshew? No. I don't think it's even worth it. I think this is gonna be a 1 QB build. Realistically, who's gonna be able to spike into this lineup? Let's see. Run the clock here. Obviously not paying attention. We need another QB. Ryan Tannehill's still there. I think that provides this team the most upside. Yep. Let's lock that in. Tannehill, welcome to the team. Deshaun Watson, Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill has sneaky rushing upside. He shouldn't be going this late. 2 years in a row, not last year, he was hurt. 2 years in a row, he had 7 rushing touchdowns, like 240 rushing yards. So he has been very consistent with that. Definitely goes too late. We saw Malik Davis look like absolute dog ass last year, so Ryan Tannehill most likely getting another year in Tennessee. Would have liked Tannehill on the squad too with the Chiggy. Our hopes and dreams were smashed by Chesley, of course. Standard. We're done at tight end here. Our wide receivers are really I think that's a strong group. We can add 1 more. We have 3 picks left. Of course, we're on the clock over here as well. Um, we need another tight end. Hunter Henry to bring in with Macaroni and Jones and Tyquan Thornton, I think is a little correlation boner. Over here, maybe Michael Carter, 11 picks after ADP will do it for me. Chase Brown, I'm assuming is very gone, right? Yeah, Chase Brown's gone. I think Michael Carter here is fine. I'm not as high on him as some people are, but 11 picks after ADP will bring him in. All right, here we go. The pick you guys have been waiting for, the super sleeper sauce. At the 19th round, we're going to go ahead and get Trent Sherfield signed a 1-year deal from Miami going over to Buffalo. We're going to pair it with our Josh Allen thing of beauty. Thing of beauty. Speed demon. Think of like KJ Hamler, but hopefully he catches more than 10 balls. What I think it's interesting too is because now that he was traded to Buffalo, he's starting to get traction, and this tournament is already 80% full. So the first 77% of people weren't drafting him. It might make us a little different, which is nice. Small angles. You gotta take every angle when it comes to these deep field tournaments, and that's why I don't fill up my lineups, like, as fast as possible, especially because we like to draft around news. Trent Sherfield most likely should be going in front of Allen Robinson. In my opinion, I think he's gonna have more upside than Allen Robinson. I just yeah, maybe if Sam Howell's still there in 18 picks, we'll go Sam Howell, but I'm fine with honestly just going Josh Allen here. Let's see what happens on the way back around. Desmond Ritter off the board. You have Kobe Brissett joining Washington. I don't know. I don't know if Sam Howell's gonna even get the chance. So we'll see. It's gonna be such a freaking exciting year for football. The problem is if Sam Howell has 3, 4 bad games, even if he does get to start in the beginning of the year, like, they're gonna bring in Jacoby Brissett, Sam Howell off the board, 4 QBs. I don't think you have to go 4 QBs batch. I know you're in the live stream. When you spend this much draft capital on Joe Burrow, in 20-round drafts, I'm fine with going these 3. I think that's super strong. Sam Howell is not gonna spike into this lineup. Even if you do have correlation with Sam Howell, which you do, it's just you are spending way too much at a onesie position where you need to start 3 receivers every single week. You're only starting 1 QB. Art the Fat Man, what's up, my dude? Work got busy. I had to hop off, but you back now. You back now. I think we're doing another draft. We're at 24 likes. Get us over, hit the like, get us to 25, and we'll do another double draft. Double or single, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We have to save some as well. For this team, 3 QBs, 5 running backs, 7 receivers. I think the receivers are strong, the tight ends are strong. Uh, Definitely sticks out to me for someone that I want on this team. Let's bring in this rookie here. I think this team's done at running back. Stevenson, AJ Dillon, Elijah Mitchell, Damian Harris, Sean Tucker, and Israel. We have our 3 tight ends, which I think is fine. With the correlation with Deshaun Watson, DPJ, and David Njoku. It's kind of a pretty looking team. Some correlation with Macaroni and Jones. Not Ramondre, Tyquan, and Hunter Henry. That might be that's probably too much correlation with the Patriots. 100%. That's an overkill. Maybe this should have been a Jelani Woods pick. I think Jelani Woods was available. It's fine though. It's fine. We're done at QB. We're done at tight end. Is this the last pick over here? This is the last pick. And where everyone's going these guys again, I think we just bring in Trent Sherfield. That hasn't been drafted in the first 77% of these. He signs the 1-year deal. We get a little New England Buffalo correlation too. Maybe they play each other. Well, interconference correlation. Already starting to big brain think it out. So let's bring in Trent Sherfield. 1-year deal in Buffalo. I mean, do you really think that they believe Khalil Shakur is the guy when they were forced to bring in Cole Beasley in the middle of the season? Like around week 10, week 11, they bring back Cole Beasley. 1 QB build. It's gotta be. I think we have to go another running back here. I'm fine with Haskins. I'm fine with like a JaMychal Hasty. Dwayne McBride if we want a rookie. Joshua Kelly, I think, is fine as a 20th round pick. Our receivers are strong. Our tight ends are strong. QB, there's just no one left on the board that I think can provide us a value. We don't even have a San Fran player. So let's just go Dwayne McBride. Someone that didn't partake in the combine. Let's get another draft going. How many likes did we get? We got up to 27. You guys are the best. Let's go. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. We're just going to do a single and focus on it. We'll try to get as many of you in the live stream in the draft as possible. So when I start to talk about the countdown, that's when you want to jump in. That's right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're jumping in. There's like a 5 to 10-second delay on StreamYard when it sends it to YouTube versus when I'm doing it. You guys are big math guys. We're waiting on 4 people. Waiting on 4 people. I saved my like, you sicko. You sicko. Big brain move. Vapor, I should have known. Always with the big brain moves. Let's see if you get the 1 spot again, Vape, if you're joining this one with us. We're waiting on 3 people. Are we the only ones drafting at 1 PM? It's okay. It's okay if we are. We are we have a problem. First step is just admitting it. Second step's winning it. 80% full, and we are around 80% full ourselves. So we're very on pace with how the draft is filling. I like doing that because you're getting different ADPs and pretty good at keeping track of who's a riser and who's a faller. When you talk about it every single day and you draft, what is this? Live draft episode 32 of the last 33 days. We've been live every single day except for one. That was on a double work day, a 16-hour shift, so give us a break. We're waiting on 2 people. 2 people. And while we wait, I'm gonna take a quick piss, grab a water, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back in time. We're not gonna be on auto pick. We're not a noob. We're not no noob. We back. We 4 is kinda 4 is all right. Josh TX, what's up, my man? Drafted right next to me. Try again, Chump, who's in every single draft nowadays. B Money looks familiar. Van Falcons, what's up, my dude? Drafting at the 12 spot. Tough spot. We'll see how the team turns out. Okay, we get gifted CMC at 4. Okay. I don't mind the Hill pick. We were gonna go Hill at 4 if CMC was taken. So this is what? We did 2, 4. This is our 5th draft. A couple multi-tables today. Probably do the same exact thing tomorrow, but starting at 2 PM Eastern. Try to get as many of these done on the live stream. Yeah, dude. Second 12 spot in a row. On a live stream, we had 3 12 spots in a row. It really is a tough draft position because you can be boxed out at QB extremely easily. I gotta bite into this protein bar, I'm gonna die. 10-minute man, welcome to the live stream. Is CMC overpriced or JT, Eckler, and Bijan underpriced? Ooh, big brain, big brain. Um, Honestly, CMC is a little expensive for sure, especially when we're undervaluing the other running backs. So I think they're both related. Um, Especially with Eckler, the unknown right now, his value lies in LAC. Like he has to return as a Charger to return this ADP. That being said, if he remains a Charger, he shouldn't be going at 12. He should probably be going closer to CMC. It's his usage and how they use him over at the Chargers that is so important to his value, where maybe another team wouldn't use him as much as in the passing game as they do at the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes goes at 11. Oh my god. Van Falcons, you're gonna be getting value with global drafting right before you. Got a lot of badgeless people in here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You gotta love it though. Just shows that Underdog as an app is growing. Little Austin Eckler Bijan. I gotta bite into this protein bar. The stomach is eating itself. Mahomes, Jonathan Taylor start. CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Hurts start. Okay. Seeing the elite QBs going real early in this draft. I'm fine with it. We should be able to get some of these elite wide receivers to come back to us. Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown. B Money getting Travis Kelce in the 8 spot's really nice, especially pairing it with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You typically haven't been able to do that, get this stack for a while now since Amon-Ra St. Brown's moved down. And Kelce typically goes in this 6 range. So to some extent, that is a different start. Barkley at 18. We see Josh Allen get picked off at the 19 spot. We'll see what try again Trump wants to do. Goes DK Metcalf. All right. So let's bring in Jalen Waddle here. 4 picks after ADP. We'll take that little gift. Small gift. I mean, we don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, so we can't accept donations, but we can accept some value on the stream. Devonta Smith goes right after. Fendi. Fendi Filet. Not sure if you spell filet like that, but he does. Had to go Hill. I get the 3 pick a lot. Okay. So you have, yeah, and that's fine. You can smooth out your exposures in that round. I think that's the way to do it. I mean, I don't think Chris Olave is going to make it back to us. Both of these teams already do have 2 receivers, so who knows? They might want to go a more balanced start instead of, yeah, there goes Olave. See what Josh wants to do. Like, yeah, I like Pollard there. I'm fine with going Chubb or Josh Jacobs. Let's actually make an exposure pick. Let's see what our Chubb's at. Okay. And then Jacobs. Let's bring in Josh Jacobs here. All right. So now we have double anchor RB build, so a little different from all of the other drafts that we've done today. We're really gonna have to catch up at wide receiver over the course of the next few rounds. Yeah, 10 minutes says, "I doubt I'll own much Kelsey this year. His price is higher than last season, 100%, despite being a year older and other tight ends being cheaper compared to last season." Yeah, and it's 20-round drafts, right? So 20-round drafts, it's easier to catch up at the tight end position just by going 3 late tight ends. In the 18-round drafts, it's not as easy to catch up if you don't have one of those elite tight ends because selecting 3 does cost you more draft capital. So I agree, Kelsey's super expensive, especially being in the 20-round drafts. And the wifey's home. The wifey's home. The dog's barking. Justin Fields goes at 35. To pair it with Patrick Mahomes. Oof. Interesting. Yeah. Van Falcon's just scooping the value, goes Debo and DJ Moore. I don't think Global Sensations appreciates that DJ Moore pick. Really doubt he's happy about that. Jason just sniping him. Anthony Walker to sign a 1-year deal with the Browns, linebacker. Najee Harris goes at 39. So running backs are actually coming off the board a little earlier in this draft, which is very good for us because we need to catch up at wide receiver. Mike Williams off the board. I still think this ADP is a little expensive for him. Let's get these tight ends off the board and QBs, please. Clone X, this name sounds familiar as well. Yeah, Jason says, oops. You were drafting in, I mean, the 12 spot. That's a good start for it. I mean, you got this guy going rogue in front of you, which helps. Try again, chump. It's on the clock. We're also picking at 52. He goes Judy. We did want Judy there. I'm fine with bringing in Michael Pittman, but hmm, 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 hmm. Let's get a little more Keenan Allen exposure. Now that we know he's coming back to the Chargers after he restructured his contract, I think I'm going to tend to lean on Keenan Allen above Michael Pittman, who, I mean, right now he has Gardner Minshew, but we're assuming they're going to bring in a rookie. So I think just offense and QB wise, I would rather have Justin Herbert than an unknown rookie. Be curious on your guys' thoughts. Keenan Allen or Michael Pittman this year? Who's going to score more points? Obviously, Keenan Allen has the injury history. And we're going another receiver here as well. Chris Godwin off the board. Probably looks something like this. Close, but I think Allen. I tend to agree. Just when we take a step back from the situation, just think about it logically. See what Josh does. He goes JSN. I think I'm gonna put up Justin Herbert here, and the reason why is this guy selected 2 elite QBs, so it is gonna make them worth a little bit more, in this draft specifically. Justin Herbert, I think everyone can agree that he played hurt last season. We have the correlation with Keenan Allen. Can also get a Trey Palmer late, can get an Everett or some of those rookie tight ends if we think that they're gonna take a shot on a rookie tight end. I think that's interesting as well. If this guy goes another QB, this will make this pick even better. But when you go Mahomes Fields, I mean, that's in my opinion, you're going rogue. You can't be trusted. So it's tough to pass up on Tyler Lockett as well. We're up in 13 picks. You guys got us to 28 likes. Let's go. You guys are on fire. Joe Lombardi's a moron, he says. Damn. Damn, bringing the heat. We see Treylon Burks off the board at 53. Pretty sure there's a chance you got him at the next spot, right? I'm probably not picking Treylon Burks before Tyler Lockett, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Go and get your guys. Piston yellow. 5 wide receivers in a row. Nice. Really nice. Let's see what this guy does. Goes Marquise Brown. Actually a decent pick. Jason brings in Mike Evans. Double RB start, then brings in 3 wide receivers. Necessary. Necessary. I don't think we've ever had 30 likes on a live stream. That would definitely be a new record. Lamar Jackson is 61. Let's go. 100%. Wow. 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 15 picks after ADP. Jameer Gibbs for this team. I think B Money's going to bring in Trevor Lawrence here with this pick at 65. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Be very surprised if he didn't. Seven picks after ADP. Has the correlation. Yeah, he goes Trevor Lawrence. Brandon Ayuk off the board. We're like done at receiver. I mean, we're done at running back. We can't even look at it until probably round 11. We really have to catch up at receiver here. At least try again, Chump. And stop stealing our receivers and sniping us. Watch him do it again. Be easy. Be easy. Settle down. There's other positions. There are other positions you can go. The suspense. He goes Bateman at 68. Interesting. Okay. Not someone that I was going to reach on. I think Deontay Johnson fits the mold of this team really well, where we only have 2 receivers. It's round 6. We'll have 2 nice floor guys, and then we can go ahead and bring in some upside, spike week potential guys to go along with this, like, decent floor now. Good target share between these 2. Where I don't really like Deontay Johnson on every team. I think he fits this one really well. Goddard goes to Josh's squad. Pretty balanced. J.K. Dobbins going to 71. First running back for Fendi. I like that. This is such a good range. I feel like to bring in your first RB. I think Dobbins really sticks out of all these names at running back. A team that wants to run the ball in Baltimore. Dotson is 72, someone we're going to be looking at. Oh, man. So our next pick is at 93, something to think about. And we wanted Tony here just for the spike week potential with having these floor guys. He would have been a nice addition. I think bringing in we'll wait for Josh to make his pick. No tips, Josh, no tips. Let's bring in George Pickens here. We get the Pittsburgh correlation. I mean, he should have those spike weeks. I'm fine with it. We get him 9 picks after ADP, 8.5 picks after ADP. The Pittsburgh correlation. Who would have thought that's what you needed week 17? To be fair, last year, if anyone remembers Baker Mayfield and Tyler Higbee went on an absolute tear week 15 and 16, putting up, I think Higbee had two touchdown games in a row. Who would have thought? Sanders goes off the board, followed by Davis, Quentin Johnston. If Josh went Pickens, we would have went Quentin Johnston. That's just an upside rookie. Jordan Addison goes directly after him. David Montgomery at 81 seems a little early for me. The in-laws are officially over, so we're safe right now. We're safe down here until this draft is over. Lamar and Deshaun Watson. I love this pairing, especially for the 12 spot. It brings in Njoku. Big brain move. I was thinking going Deshaun here and then going to Njoku on the way back around. That's beautiful. Jason is already in mid-season form. I think Pasco thinks you're starting 3 running backs and not 3 receivers. Like, he had a nice start too, it was pretty balanced, and then he just went 3 running backs in a row. It's tough, even when, like, the value falls to you, and you're like, "Oh, man, how do I pass up on it?" Sometimes you can't afford to go another running back, like this spot. See what Try Again Chump wants to do. In the live stream, finally picks a running back. Pissed yellow for a while, goes Dak Prescott. We have a ton of options here. I don't feel the need to really reach on one of these, wide receivers right here. Let's bring in Darren Waller. Tua off the board to the Tyreek Hill team. Fendi has Joe Burrow and Chase. He got Joe Burrow at 47, which you have to love. Goes Ingram at 95. Kirk Cousins off the board. KJ Osborne pairs it with him, and I think he also has Justin Jefferson, so that's nice. Thank you for the sub, whoever that was. Welcome to the freaking pound, my man. Um, the thing with going Kirk Cousins here with Justin Jefferson is it's so common that I feel like it's too common. But I like the double stack. I appreciate that play. One like away from 30. That would definitely be a record on this stream. See what Josh wants to do here. He's sort of catching up at receiver. Probably could use another here. Goes Cook. So the reason we went Darren Waller here is because it gave us the option to get either Daniel Jones or get Tua, which obviously we see Tua get selected here. Kind of figured Kirk was going to go here with Justin Jefferson. So the risk pays off, and we get him right at ADP. We're done at QB. We also get the correlation with Waller. We still have to catch up at wide receiver. But we have something in mind for that. We got our we got to see if we can get our my guys or if the pounders in the chat are going to go ahead and snipe them all. Let's update the counter. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. James Conner, Zach Charbonnet. Like, I love this range of running backs. I really do. All of these guys. Khalil Herbert now has competition with Dante Foreman. Like, that's perfect for Herbert. Trey Lance goes at 103. No correlation. Oh, he's got Brandon Ayuk. You don't even need correlation with him, but that's always a little added bonus. $30 likes on the live stream. Let's go. My God. If you guys didn't already know, subscribers to the pound, we are doing a giveaway. It's going to be for the pounders that finish the 3 highest on the big board. We'll hold it up the right way here. Roger Goodell, clown nose towels. I'm just going to keep buying them throughout the whole off season. 3 top finishes on the big board. Little competition between the pounders. Ben has said in the past that he only needs 1 and that he'll be donating the other 2 when he wins all 3 spots. It's like, all right, Ben, relax. Relax. DPJ to go with Deshaun Watson. Dude, Jason's killing this draft in the 12th spot, making it look easy. I mean, you also get Lamar at 61. You gotta love that. Brings in his 3rd running back with Rashad Penny at 109. Think it's expensive. Once everyone was getting him at 170, 180, I think it's tough. But if it's the right pick, it doesn't matter, right? We're up in 3 picks. AJ Dillon off the board, which we probably would have went AJ Dillon if he was still there. Maybe it's a good thing because we have to catch up at receiver. We really do. Jalen Hyatt off the board. Good. Gone. See ya. We can't go Pat Frymuth anyways. Elijah Moore. I mean, not many people have more outcomes this season than Elijah Moore, failure-wise. Uh, man, but I really wanna bring in Joshua Palmer. It's sad, but I gotta reach up and get him when we have Justin Herbert here. You know Mike Williams is getting hurt for a few games this year. Joshua Palmer was able to provide a couple 100-yard games. So we'll bring in the correlation. I think that's more important than just getting a naked Elijah Moore. Also, with the Jets adding Allen Lazard, I think it does hurt him. It should hurt his ADP a little bit. And let's see where our exposure's at. It's at 10%. So very equal. And then on Palmer, we're at 5%. So I think that's the smart play to go ahead and get the correlation there. I think that makes the most sense. $30 likes on a live stream, though. You guys are setting records. See Tyler Boyd go. I don't think Tyler Boyd would be good for this lineup because he's, in my mind, a floor play. Being a slot guy in Cincy, you already have Deontay Johnson. We already have Keenan Allen. Allen Lazard off the board. I'm liking this wide receiver room by Fresh Press. Brings in Pat Fryermuth as his 2nd tight end. I think that's strong. Probably would stop at 2 in 18-round drafts, but in 20-round drafts, you could probably get another one here. The wide receiver room's strong. You have Joe Burrow with the double stack, triple stack. That might be too much. Especially when so much relies on week 17. You're not gonna see all 3 get elevated. And we're done at QB. I think Sky Moore sticks out to me here now that Juju's moved on. His ADP is only gonna get more expensive from here. It really is. So like it or love it, you're still gonna want a piece of him being on KC. Sounds good. See a little run at QB here. Russell Wilson to the Judy squad. He could also maybe get Greg Dulcich. Jared Goff to the Swift team. That's fine. With Josh Allen. I'm typically not going a second QB so early after getting Josh Allen, but I think it's fine when you get it correlated. And he falls 10 picks. Let's see, we're picking at 141. I think we caught up at receiver now. At least like we're comfortable. We have correlation with Jones, Darren Waller. We have the double stack with Keenan Allen and Palmer, with Justin Herbert. So it's a good looking team. Fantasy Dysfunctional says, I think in 20 round drafts, you can get away with the triple stack as long as your third is late, but I wouldn't do it often. Yeah, I think it's absolutely fine in the 20 round drafts. But when we're talking about week 17 upside, the week that matters the most, the chances of elevating three receivers on the same offense is extremely low. Like there wasn't a single week last week where all Higgins, Chase, and Boyd were all elevated in 1 week. Like there was a week where it was Boyd and Chase, Higgins and Boyd, Higgins and Chase, but I'm always thinking about that week 17 most upside when you're playing against 470 other lineups. This is week 17, 470 playing for 200K. Come in 10th, get 3 Gs. It's really heavily weighted at the top. Super heavily weighted. We're done at QB. We're up in a few picks here. Jason brings in Elijah Mitchell and Romeo Dobbs. I think those are both good picks. Samaje Perine off the board. Chill, what's up, my man? Welcome to the live stream. Acquired Chase Claypool for a 2024 fourth. I need wide receivers and have Mooney. Either could get traded, but if one goes down, I have the other. Dynasty PPR. Acquire Chase Claypool for a 2024 fourth. I think that's fine. If you have wide receivers and you have Mooney, both of them, yeah, one of them could be moved on from. I don't think that uh, they'll really trade Chase Claypool because they just brought him in for a first round pick, end of the first, I believe. And I don't think they're going to get that back. Russell Wilson brings in Greg Dulcich, like we said, super nice. Let's bring in Damian Harris. His ADP should be around 120 right now. So to get him 9 picks before ADP is fine. Chase in a single game, no. Chase Claypool, nah, he's not washed. The problem is he landed in Chicago, which is going to be a run-heavy team. I think when they bring in DJ Moore, it's going to help Darnell Mooney more than it'll help Chase Claypool. You might see Claypool take more of a gadget type role in this offense now. Yeah, he's young, so he's definitely not washed. That being said, I don't think that Chicago would trade him because they just brought him in and they gave up so much for him that they won't be able to get in return. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to blow smoke. Not a huge dynasty guy, just got into it this first year, and I'm actually going to release my first dynasty team. I just released it on Twitter at Fantasy Dog Pound. There's some guys on ETR in that draft, so it's a super competitive league. And yeah, I would honestly answer, like bring all those questions to someone that's going to be dynasty first, where we're sort of best ball first here. I like Chiggy here. Second tight end. Get him 8 picks after ADP. Not going to be super excited with Dante Foreman, Chicago, Zeke. And we still need to catch up at RB a little bit. But again, I think this is a pretty solid 3 there. Accepted the trade. I love that. Let's make rash decisions. I love it. 4th round picks or nothing. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like a 2024 4th for Chase Claypool, that's pretty good, especially if they do move on from Mooney. I agree with Fancy Dysfunctional. but you have some really big dynasty minds in the field. We're just dipping our toes, and our team turned out. I mean, it's pretty fun. Let me see if I can pull it up here. An auction league dynasty team, best ball, super flex, one QB, two running backs, two receivers, and three flex. Let's go to team. Let's pull up the roster. 1.5 PPR for tight ends as well. And you guys can let me know how we did. Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett, and we had some stacks in here. Pickett with Najee Harris and Pat Fryermuth. We have Justin Fields with DJ Moore and Mooney and Cole Kmet as well. Tanner McAfee, just a late round rookie QB. Gardner Minshew in Indy. We have a double stack in Indy, which I think is interesting. If Anthony Richardson plays or ends up in Indy, Gardner Minshew might be the QB the whole season. Who knows? But Algier, Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, Rashawn Johnson, Kendrick Miller, Ramondre Stevenson. And then these receivers, I think this turned out pretty good for Dynasty team. 1.5 PPR for tight ends as well. Dalton Kincaid, Pat Fryermuth, Cole Kmet, Trey McBride. Let me know in the chat. Is that a good first Dynasty team? One pick away over here. And good. Let's see if we get our guy here. We pick again at 172. Oof, Singletary goes. Good. All right, we're going to bring in the first rookie on this team, Rashawn Johnson, guy who played behind Bijan. Our QBs are strong. Our wide receivers, we probably need 8 or 9 receivers. Probably going to need 3 tight ends. We're done at QB. Our running backs, I mean, we got CMC and Josh Jacobs. Like, they have to carry the workload here. Breaking news from Ben. Thank you for dropping it. Dearness Johnson to sign a 1-year deal with the Jags. That's relatively good for ETN, to be honest. It gets rid of a lot of fears that they're going to draft a running back, a high-profile running back. We're up again. We're going to be picking a wide receiver here, I think. We'll see what Josh does. See what Josh does. Nico Collins. I like Curtis Samuel. I like Tyquan Thorne. I like Terrace Marshall in this range. No correlation. He'll be our first New England player, which is fine. I think we bring in Tyquan Thornton here. Guy who ran the fastest 40 time last year. Second year in the offense. They get rid of Myers and bring in Juju, but Juju does have injury history. And I don't think Juju will command as many targets as Jacoby Myers did. So I think it's actually a small boost. Small boost for Tyquan Thornton. You knew they were going to bring in someone. Yeah, it depends on how far the QBs fall on you. Okay. Who would you take in the 107 non-super flex? If Charbonnet, Addison, or Jason fall, I'll take them, but I don't want a tight end. Depends. What do you need? What's your team need? I would have to see your whole squad in order to make, like, an honest, and accurate say. Well, I know Pickett there just joined. We have 2 strong QBs. We have they're both correlated. I don't think Kenny Pickett's really gonna come in here and provide many spike weeks. The only reason we went 2 Pittsburgh players is because Pickens fell 9 picks, and in that range, wide receiver gets super thin. Like, Bateman went uh, before this range too, so Tony went. So it's either Gabe Davis, Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison, or George Pickens. So, obviously, we'll bring in Pickens in that range. Let's see, did this team end up doing anything? No, they brought it back together. Global Sensations went to 2 elite QBs. We weren't sure if they were gonna go rogue, so on the way back around, we went with Justin Herbert. There's always that potential that they went rogue. They didn't. They brought it back together. Bill says need wide receivers and running backs, could take a QB. Are you on those late round Chase Brown bandwagon? Chase Brown bandwagon. Charbonnet's nice if you can get Charbs. Addison, JSN if it's full point PPR, pretty solid. Yeah, Chase Brown's a nice little sleepy sleep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm between Kendre and one other running back here. I think we have a really good base with McCaffrey with Josh Jacobs. If we could smash on one of these 2 rookies, it could make this a really strong team. Then you're gonna have Damian Harris with touchdown upside and in half point PPR that, it actually should be weighted more than it is. People don't really talk about touchdown upside, and in half point PPR that it is important. Deontay Johnson, 0 touchdowns last year. I expect him to get more than 0. Yeah, that's a little sleeper. Israel Ibukanda, another little sleeper running back too. Still want a 3rd tight end, and what are we picking? We're picking at 213 for the next one. I'm fine if the 3rd tight end's Henry, Jelani Woods, Darnell Washington, or even a Musgrave with this team where we have, 2 solid guys returning. So I don't feel like we have to go tight end here. See what Josh does. Josh goes booty. I wouldn't mind bringing in Chuba Hubbard. Miles Sanders comes to this team. Miles Sanders is gonna be the early down back, not known for his pass catching, so Chuba Hubbard should still have a role here. We're done at QB. If we were gonna go receiver, we could have gone Slayton for some correlation, but again, Giants just it's so muddy. It's so muddy with Richie James, Darren Waller, Slayton. They bring back Sterling Shepard. They have Wan'Dale Robinson. S s Did I mention Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Richie James, Darren Waller, Sterling Shepard, and Isaiah Hodgins. 6. It's just it's muddy. Paris Campbell, 7. So, if I'm gonna pick one of them, I would prefer Slayton because of where he goes so late and his contract. The contract is telling. 2 years, 12,000,000 up to 16.5,000,000 with bonuses. that tells you that he's going to be part of the offense, where Campbell, they bring him in on a 1-year, $3 million deal. I would slow down with the Paris Campbell shares if you're out there drafting Paris Campbell in the regular. I think this running back room is fine now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're done there. We're done at QB. We're gonna need one more tight end. We can do one more receiver, one more running back. Let's see this wide receiver group. Waddle, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Joshua Palmer, Sky Moore, Tyquan Thornton. It's either 2 more receivers, 1 tight end, or it's 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end. Hmm. We'll see who falls. It's gonna depend on who's there. If there's someone that we think can add value to the team, or if the position is completely drafted out. Jason goes ahead and selects Jelani Woods, his 3rd tight end to go into Njoku and Isaiah Likely, which is nice. Isaiah Likely with the Lamar Jackson pairing, Deshaun with David Njoku. I mean, you did really, really good, dude, for the 12th spot. You got some nice correlation. You got some value too to fall to you. That always helps. Chill trying to get me to get Chase Brown in there. I would, but having 3 rookie running backs to end the draft, it's tough. It's tough. In no certain order. We want these QBs to go. We want these QBs off the board. Berrios, my god. I can't. I don't think Berrios adds anything to this team. I don't see what Berrios gives this team at all. I'd rather go with, like, a Trey Palmer, someone that's a burner in this year's draft, someone that might be able to at least spike into the lineup. I have to go Henry here, in my opinion, with the touchdown upside. As much as I like Chase Brown, we're going Henry. So we're done at tight end. We're gonna bring in at least 1 more receiver. It's 1 or 2. It's gonna depend on if I like any running backs that are left. At least 1 more receiver, though. Chase Brown goes to Josh's squad. It's a good pick for his team. I like that pick. Depending on Tua and Bryce Young, interesting. Bryce Young, do you have any Houston? Yeah, you bring in Nico Collins from Houston. I think that's solid. Dalton Schultz, cool. So we got a little double stack here at Bryce Young and Dameon Pierce. Nice draft. Nice draft, Josh. Way to get different. Watch him not end up in Houston, but that is the consensus right now. Dortch. I can't. I can't. I'll just fall on the sword. I'd rather fall on the sword than draft Greg Dortch. He's got Kyler Murray, so at least he has a little correlation with it, but I can't get behind it. If this RB's still here, we'll go with this guy. He reminds me like, his tape reminds me sort of like Derrick Henry. Not gonna have as much power, but he hits those open lanes. He gets up to full speed extremely fast, and he's able to break off big plays, which is what you're looking for when it comes to best ball. Also like Cedric Tillman, but it's fine. Our last pick is going to be a wide receiver to make 8. So a little 2, 7, 8 rebuild. I think every single team we drafted today was just a little different, which is nice. You don't wanna be drafting the same thing every single time. That's how you get a majority of your lineups knocked out in the same week, even if you do make the playoffs. Because if those players bust, that's all that matters is those playoff weeks. Making the playoffs and then, getting lucky week 15, 16, 17. Now correlation can help you, but there's still a lot of luck involved. What teams you're paired up with. Let's put it this way, King Cap, the kid who won BBM4 last year for $1,000,000, he had the highest scoring lineup weeks 1 through 14, won $1,000,000. Pretty sure he was a first round exit week 15. The best lineup, the lineup that scored the most points out of 458,000 lineups, won $1,000,000, first round exit. So there is a luck factor to it. Now there's ways to raise your chances. Correlation, drafting for depth, having upside guys along with your floor guys, and that's the stuff we emphasize is roster construction over here. Oh, Trey Palmer off the board, Rashee Rice, Marvin Mims, I like these 3 rookies. We're gonna have to dig deep. We're gonna have to dig deep. Calvin Austin. Our last pick, it's always someone where you gotta dig deep. You gotta scroll down the board. I like the Luke Musgrave pick, brings it in with Taysom Hill and Kyle Pitts. That's solid. I like that 3. Kyle Pitts to provide you, like, a weekly floor, hopefully. Hopefully, they throw a little more under Ritter, but Luke Musgrave's a nice prospect, and there's so many tight end needy teams, even Detroit. Wow, 11 receivers, 2-5, 11-2. Trent Irwin. So he interesting. Okay, okay. Um, yeah, I would probably have gone Ryan Tannehill over Trent Irwin here. Who's fallen off the board, and let's see if he falls. Alright, we're gonna go with Trent Sherfield. That just signed a one-year deal in Buffalo. Clearly, Gabe Davis isn't the guy. This is gonna be a burner too. Should be able to spike into the lineup. And what's even more interesting is he's not really someone that was drafted in the first 78%, 77% of these drafts with the news just breaking yesterday on the one-year deal. So it's a way to get a little different is, Trent Sherfield in the last round. Guys, I can't even tell you how much it means. You guys absolutely killed it today. 6 subbies, 31 likes. The video hasn't even been posted yet. I really do appreciate all you coming out. Ben, what's up, my man? Swinging the wrench around right at the end of the draft. 3 hours in. Yeah, we crushed it today with the Nooners draft. And we're gonna be back tomorrow, probably around 2 PM, 3 PM Eastern. And if you guys haven't already, follow the Twitter at Fancy Dog Pound. I do release when we're going live on there as well. Appreciate everyone joining the fun today. We had a lot of strong drafts, good drafts by all the pounders involved. And again, appreciate you guys coming out. We will see you on the next one. Pounders.